Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual. Today, I would like to speak about the further forward we move, the more our inner soul spiritual will become our outer visible countenance. Of course, right now, most people are not affected too much with these types of forces, should we say, because they are not immersing themselves in it, so they are not that affected yet. But let's take those that are, well, practicing and cultivating spiritual understanding and development. Based on what we nourish our soul with is what we become. So if it's the same with when you eat toxic stuff, you become, ill. It's the same with what we immerse our soul and spirit, our interests with, our inner soul, spiritual being, our thoughts and our feelings. There, there is, the more we, immerse ourselves in feelings of gratitude, but also of a wonder and an interest and curiosity and, awe, but at the same time holding oneself serious to the study and sincere at the same time. You have a certain maturity to all of this. You don't become completely like a child, but you also have the maturity of experience behind you. And that is where they meet in the middle, and you can become both realistic in a sense, but also idealistic, where you can see the ideal and the real and the real at the same time. It is like looking at a block of stone and seeing a potential statue in there, right? It is the same principle, more or less. We seeing the ideal in, anyone and everyone, and at the same time standing grounded in real in realism, but also being a little reasonable, and at the same time, there are many ways to perceive the world, as we have mentioned. 12 worldviews, 7 soul moods, and 3 tones. And based on how they are combined and how we perceive the world, we see the world from different angles. And that is what we also are prompted to do in life, as to become as versatile as possible, being able to maneuver and to orient oneself wherever we are asked by the higher worlds. For they often ask us to go do a few things here and there to help and to be of assistance, like putting out a video, for example, or just in general being kind and helpful when we have the capability of doing so, and also to listen to our body and to our being when we need rest. For rest and recuperation, renewal of soul spiritual forces is just as important. For if we are going on an empty drive, if we're going on overdrive more or less, we break down and destroy more than we can repair, in a sense. So it's about that. Don't take me wrong, we need to destroy to build up or rebuild anew. And that is how you build muscles, that is how you build new habits, and so on and so forth. You more or less utilize your will to build and shape new interests and new directions of area to focus on in life, and the more of the focus you put into the healing, the good, the true, the beautiful, the moral and the warm, and also the curious and so on, you stir and awaken and nourish your soul and spirit with it. So in the far-flung future, we will have two types of beings: those with the mark of the beast and those with the mark of the Christ. And this, of course, is so far in the future, but it is important to be aware of this. For what we do immerse ourselves in, we become over time. So important to be a little careful here. So at the same time, we do not run away from or stay scared of anything per se, but we always stay in the moral, in the moral anchoring. There are just certain lines we don't cross. It's just how it is. It is a self-imposed regulation, a self-imposed commitment, more or less. And for us to even be able to grow and break the mold that we have so wrapped tightly around us that it is barely possible to breathe, we have to be careful and also at the same time a little curious and courageous. The balance between courage and carefulness. And at the same time, staying aware, awake, and nourish our inner being with what is the most healthy for us, for those around us, for the world, for God, for the higher worlds. For the more we immerse ourselves in what is true, good, and beautiful, the more we immerse ourselves in the forces of the higher world, the more we immerse ourselves in them, the more we become like them. The more we become like them, the more we are capable of listening to them, of feeling them, of sensing their promptings and guidance. And that we have to work and strive for. For as we say, they do not just help willy-nilly, consciously anyone and everyone. It is something that is constantly striven for. And if they are not very, what should we call, content, they might just be silent on you for a little while until you can, or we can, or anyone can clear up in certain things, you know? They never leave us or forsake us. They are always here. They are this world. They are within us. They have helped build this being, so we cannot get away from them. But they can, in a scenario where we are not reasonable, give us a proverbial foot up our butt. And that is karma, you know? That is... and the more we do spiritual work, the higher the responsibility. The more and more you develop 3 steps, moral character for every step of development. Or else we won't be able to keep up with our developmental forces and hence ending up using it like some scoundrel or use it to something you should not have used it for. Simple and easily put. For temptation is a thing. And when you do have certain insights, certain capabilities, human decency. It is all about responsibility and that God watches us and nothing goes unnoticed. No action, no thoughts, no feelings goes unnoticed. It becomes written in the Akashic record. So it's important to, well, I might have a few chaotic chapters in there, but in the end, I wish to have, an exciting chapter in that book, the in the Akasha Chronicles, for my many lifetimes, and we probably have gone through a whole lot of every little bit of things probably in our past lives and so on. But what we cultivate now in this life, we do have remnants of past lives, yes, that is constantly coming in, butting heads with us. But what we cultivate now and develop and grow soul spiritually in this lifetime will be as a soul, spiritual and physical disposition in our next lifetime, as health, as moral character, as interests in certain areas, and we often come back to the work we were doing, well, the last lifetime. Except it might come in a different form, because every time we incarnate anew, there is something new to be learned. That is why we incarnate, and if we take in everything that is meant to be learned in a lifetime, we might not incarnate for a couple of millennia, you see. That is how long it might take before something really changes. Before a true impulse of inner spiritual forces can start to take real effect. Of course, Now I'm talking about extreme changes, like take every civilizations is they are so different from one another, but yet at the same time belongs to a whole, because all of these nations, before these nations were separated, we all were kind of one people at one place. But since that place we were so callously destroying, we all went with each, let's call them manus or leaders, where they spread over the whole earth. And based on the location and area of the earth and the people that got to those places, culture started to build itself over time. You see, all of these people were kind of planetary and constellation. You had sun people, moon people, Jupiter people, Saturn people, Venus people, Mars people, Mercury people, I think it's and sun people. All of these people went to different places on Earth to cultivate specific things that is still a unity in a sense, but we have forgotten this. We will come to where we will see that every single culture, nation, and individual have something amazing to show to the world over time. But as we say, the law of delayed development. So those that are hanging a little behind in development today will come to their own in the future. And it is about holding faith and trust and a little bit of devotion to the wise guidance of the world. And that is how you nourish yourself with faith, love, hope. By knowing that we are going somewhere and that we are not randomly walking blind, but we actually have some amazing higher beings that are watching over us, and with their mighty hand guides us towards specific directions and so on. Of course, we have adversaries too, but they are microcosmic forces. They are in the humanity, in each and every human here, and they are in either the sclerotifying, the drying up, or the dissolving of this earth substance, but that's about it. They are not macrocosmic. They are not working in cosmic space. They are working down here on earth. That's the difference. The hierarchy works in the cosmos, works in the constellations in our solar system. The difference is kind of immense here. This is also why when we trust the higher world and the Christ which comes from this cosmic world, there is a reason why Lucifer and Ahriman got into a panic when he incarnated, because that is when the crisis in the demon realm began and the turn around for humanity started. And because of his sacrifice and his being we can come under today, we can redeem ourselves to become more like the hierarchy again. He gave us the chance to spiritualize, grow, and evolve. So I think I will leave you with this today. I had to put out the video today. I was thinking about having a break, but you know, we can have a break in the weekend. So may you be protected, guided, blessed, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, and may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative, inspirational, and healing to the world so others can choose to follow when the time is right and the courage is high. Thank you so much. Love you. See you. Goodbye.